Hi guys, this is Oh My God No C63, and this is going to be the install video for my OHC Motors steering wheel. As you can see, they use a stock Mercedes steering wheel and then proceed to modify it. On this particular model, we have several things that were done aftermarket, like the carbon fiber and all the trim around. The bottom part of the steering wheel is made out of carbon fiber. We have perforated leather on their sides and red stitching to match the interior of the car. And then of course you have the LED screen on top that we're going to show you how to connect. So the first thing you want to do, you have to take off the stock steering wheel. And in order to do that, the airbag has to come out. But before you do that, you have to take your battery off. For me, it's going to take a little longer because I have the med tank sitting on top of my trunk. So I have to remove this. Alright, now that the battery is disconnected, we can proceed to take the airbag off. How you do this is behind the wheel. I don't know if you can see it from there. There are two divots on each side, or actually one on each side, that you take a screwdriver and you just poke in, and that will release the airbag itself. You can see how it's moving already. So I have that side out, and then alright, I have the airbag out. I actually ended up using a different tool because I noticed the screwdriver was too pointy, so it wasn't really touching this little metal part here. With this, it took me maybe 5 seconds on each side. So then after that, just unplug your airbag. Two taps, one on top, one on the bottom, and that's it. And then you just transfer it over to your next. All right, so after you get this screw loose, it's pretty straightforward. Take it out, take the wheel out, make sure the wheel is completely straight, your tires are straight, you don't want them to be crooked to any of the sides, that might be a problem. And then just pull it towards you, and that's it. The wheel comes off. And then when you're putting the new wheel on, make sure you put it that straight as well. Don't flip, don't turn anything. You might have an issue if you do it. See how it's tilted to the side? So just gotta go perfect. And then it's a matter of, you know, connecting the positive and negative, and then just hooking everything back on. Okay, I'm following up with the install video right now because I had to travel in between of the previous installation video and now the finishing part of it. As you can see, the steering wheel is on. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take it off and show you where I connected my positive and negative cables and just all the other minor details. It's a pretty straightforward installation. The only thing you need to know is, of course, where to connect those two cables based on your steering wheel. So I'm going to take off the airbag again with the same two pins that are on the sides here and on this side right here, so I can have access to the plugs and everything, and I can show you. Okay, so here you can see in detail the cables that I tapped into for the positive and negative that power the LED strip or the LED screen. So for the positive cable, the red one, I tapped into, if you look on my plug, it's from top down the first cable, right? The plug goes in here like this. So for positive, I got the 12 volts on the top cable, and then for the ground, from the bottom up, it's the second cable if you're coming from the bottom up. Let me see if I can present it in a way that it's clear. I doubt if you can see it there, but if you can, it's not the bottom one, it's the one right after if you're coming from the bottom. That's where I'm getting my positive, my ground from. Then you make sure everything is aligned. When you put it on, I'm actually going to take the wheel off because it's a little crooked to the right. So I'm going to take it off, pull it out, and then just put it in on the very next one. I'm gonna do that right now. Okay, so take the middle, the nut that's in the middle. I used a 10mm Allen key. That's what it worked for my car. I know in previous generations you had a smaller one or a different kind of tool overall. So this is what I'm using. And a breaker bar just to get enough grip on it so I can release it. So I'm gonna go counterclockwise. I'm gonna have my beautiful assistant here, my wife, hold the steering wheel for me while I do it. Okay, so now that the steering wheel is center, all I do is, you know, make sure all the plugs are connected properly. Hide the cables so they don't come in contact with anything that we don't want. Make sure the steering wheel is perfectly centered. There is a little line here that aligns with that line in there. Hopefully you can see it on the video. Once those two align, you should be okay. And then it's just putting the wheel back on and then putting the airbag on again. Remember, your battery has to be disconnected for the entirety of this process. Okay, so we're now on the driver's footwell, and what I want to do now is I want to permanently you know, hide the cables and the module that control the steering wheel. What I did originally is that I just, you know, I put them up there, but as you can see, they're loose. So I need this second OBD2 connection. Let me just show you the whole thing. So what they sent you is this wiring harness that contains several things, right? Contains a plug that goes into the actual OBD2 controller, which is Bluetooth, it's wireless, it's sending a wireless signal to the steering wheel. And it has a fuse, of course. So it has a plug that goes right into your OBD2, but then it gives you another OBD2 connection for you to have. So if you're a guy like me, for example, who's data logging, tuning, and doing a lot of different things, you need this without having the need to take it off and on every time. So I'm just gonna find a home for this. I'm thinking that I'm probably gonna put it right here if I have the space. And then I'm just gonna leave this OBD2 right here visible, most likely like this or something like that. So we'll see. Let me see what I can figure it out here. Okay, so I'm pretty much done here. What I ended up doing, let me just light here. I took this whole piece down. There's two screws, one right here, and the other one is right there. You take it out, the whole piece comes out, and then you can just put the whole module in there. I cut a little of the plastic right there, so when the cable goes in is, you know, it's flushed, it's not pushing it out. And then what I'm gonna do here, I don't like the way this is hanging. I'm just gonna get one of those cable management little sticky things that you put there just to hold the cables like that. And then that should be it. It's gonna be the final step. So I just gotta go to Office Depot and buy that thing, because I have some right now. They look like this, but these are too flimsy. They're not gonna do anything. So I'm just gonna get better ones and finish it up. And that's it, we're done.